from luxurious Ghana must goes, 4.5 million naira, all the way to wanted doctors in Akwa Ibom State. There's a lot going on today, and we're here. We're sat for it all. This is the morning break, and I'm Ijoma.
Chief Mohammed Kabir.
Chief.
Yes, today I hold my title.
Simply buried to the world, darlings.
Okay, so I think we'll start with our first story. Our first story today is DSS taking Sowore to court. This is a very interesting story, and it's interesting because, you know, we saw, I think last week, and basically this has been a trending story. The DSS first wrote to X over Sowore's tweets calling President Tinubu a criminal and saying, oh, he went to Brazil and he lied and said that there's no more corruption in Nigeria. And so the DSS advised, sent X, a message to X, telling X to pull down this message that it was, you know, going to incite public unrest. And then they also took it a step further. They sent a message to Meta. It be like those was no here. And then they took the next step, which is what they're doing now, seeking the good legal redress. So yes, they've officially taken Facebook, they've taken the entire Meta, not just Facebook, really. They've taken Meta to court, they've taken the Sowore to court, and they have taken X to court over these claims. I mean, we're looking at the charges, you know, and what they said, the sections of the Constitution, they claim he has violated. What do you think? I know, let's look at what the charges are really. What are the charges, and, you know, what is he going to court for? This story has been in the news for a long time. You know, they said he's inciting public unrest, and that's really a big deal. What do you think about this? I mean, we've discussed this, but they're actually taking it to court now.
Okay, first of all, it is laughable that the DSS is doing this. And when I first saw them send him a letter, I thought it was a joke and everything. Because they were saying that they sent him a letter saying he should take down the post. I was like, okay, since when did DSS become social media prefects? They took it a step further to charging him to court on several criminal counts. And I was still flabbergasted about the whole thing. I was okay. I was interested in knowing what are these criminal counts. So I told Grok to help me or break it down because I'm not finding it. Maybe it is DSS that are seeing these counts and everything, but I'm not seeing the counts in which they are using to charge him. The basis in which they are using to charge him to court. So I was like, please. Then I started seeing criminal charges, and I was shocked because what criminal charge has expressing your freedom of speech? Is this an impediment on the freedom of speech of the average Nigerian? Are they trying to say that no one is free to speak freely? And what he said, was it wrong? And I was trying to even still find where he was inciting violence. No, they said that the tweet was going to incite violence. Up to now, I've not found the violence that has started because of this tweet. Up to now, I haven't found it. Gok is trying to take me down. But up to now, at this point in time, I haven't found the violence that Mohammed, have you seen it? Because I've not.
It's nowhere to be found, honestly.
Found, not found, please. I'm still waiting. And then I asked Greg. Greg said that there is low or medium grounds for any of these criminal charges. That this basically summary is it won't fly. So why is the DSS, which is supposed to be an intelligence agency, focused so much on this? It's like I said before, is it that they do not know their job description? Why have they lowered themselves so low to be doing these things when we ask for justice for the 8 NSCDC officials that were killed? We did not see them there. We have not heard information, we have not heard updates on that case up till now. But if it is tweets, they have run to respond to Sowore. What are they doing on Twitter? What are they doing on Twitter? Which intel are they gathering that is on Twitter concerning these issues that are plaguing Nigeria? And on and on and on. I'm really, really flabberwhelmed and flabbergasted at this point.
What do you think, Mo?
It's, from our own point, even though, let's say, if we're going to be realistic, even what he tweeted, it was not that offensive, since probably everybody has his own point of view. Maybe really I can decide to call, okay, I can wake up today and decide to call Shori, okay, you're a liar. Then if he feels offended, that's where the legal action comes. But the problem, where I have a problem with it is how, if you look at the lawsuit, it was Federal Republic of Nigeria pushing a lawsuit against Meta. Sorry, did not offend me. And I'm part of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is supposed to be the President Bola Tinubu as an individual, or the Department of State Security as an entity against suing Meta. Not you people should bring because me, sure, did not offend me. I don't know about you, Barry, if he did. So I don't know why they are coming under the umbrella of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Except by the DSS. Though.
Honestly, because I don't know, they should do it as an individual entity, not to generalize and bring all of us under the same umbrella. And another point I'm looking at this from different angles, like 2 or 3, which one would be, is this an intimidation tactics? Are they trying to intimidate the people? Are they trying to intimidate him for his statement? Because I don't know, we already have, this is a sign of misplaced priorities, whereby it was day before yesterday that 55 people were taken in Zamfara. Rather than them focusing on this, I think there are other things, there are other issues. They should go and focus on they killed 8 NSCDC officials, your co-security. You people should go and be investigating on that issue. There was a foreigner kidnapped in that scenario.
It's a Chinese national.
Up till now, he's not found. If you people are looking for work, this is what to do. But you people don't really know where to focus. The DSS are really not focusing on the issues they are supposed to be focused. And lastly, we've seen they are trying to suppress the issue of free speech. Honestly, everybody is entitled to his own opinion. Sure, his opinion is that President Bola Tinubu lied about what he said in Brazil. Then he's entitled to his own opinion. I might wake up tomorrow and say, oh, he said the truth. Everybody, but you people are trying to force him not to speak.
I mean, I believe that there's a anti, what they call that, the fake news act. I can't remember what the name is, but that act is supposed to help curb hate speech, malicious stories, really. So I think what they should have been doing was disparage. If you're going to say that this man has falsified these things that he's putting on, that's one thing. If the information that he's putting out there is untrue, then you have to prove to us that it's untrue.
It's not true.
Because what you're saying is that, you know, him saying that there's no corruption in Nigeria it's very arguable.
Because now, because he feels like they are
I
trying
just
to
found
push the whole
counts,
matter.
right? I just found the counts on which the first count is publishing false information to incite disorder.
Is
They
that
are
false
said
information?
with the intent.
With the intent.
So I want to even ask,
disorder.
right? And this is what I really want to ask. When you say he published this with the intent to cause, how can you determine what the intent is?
Honestly.
How do you know what his intent
in his
is?
mind?
Honestly.
And that was them citing his post on X. That was the first count. The second count is still publishing false information to incite disorder. That is when he posted it on Facebook on August 26th, which is another cybercrime and criminal case. The third count is defamation of character, which is where he published a defamatory material against Tinubu's person and reputation.
Then I think
Fourth count is defamation of office using Facebook. Then the fifth one is spreading false info to incite fear. I'm wondering how they were able to garner up 5 counts. And I just saw a repetition
of the
same thing. We are citing the same thing from those that I did not see the long. He did not release an epistle, a book, but they were able to deduce 5 counts. But up till now, Nnamdi Kanu has not smelt the courts.
And funny, to add to you, Barry, not to cut you off, We've seen in a working system whereby in the US, we saw where a rapper, Eminem, was criticizing the president in power. And the security officials, rather than them suing him, they just questioned him.
So I think these are really the issues. We're guaranteed free speech under Nigeria's constitution, and like we've raised now, I believe that the DSS has more pressing issues rather than scrolling through social media looking for who, like you said, social prefects looking for who is
Honestly.
posting what. There are more issues that are befalling us as Nigerians that we need to be facing, and we would like to see the DSS take actions. I mean, we're looking at it this morning that Charlie Kirk-Scaler, Tyler Robinson, he has already been charged. He's in court. He's facing, the death penalty. Very swift, in a matter of days. And here we are in Nigeria, talking about who posted what on social media. I mean, I think we could do better. We'll move on to our next story. Well, coincidentally, the next story is what's happening here in Abuja, where a federal high court invalidated Amax TV and radio license bylaw. So the bylaw was, for TV, there was a TV and radio license under the AMAX 2012 bylaw, which they cited, and it was the basis for which they were requesting for a certain amount, 1 million naira from Yalia, and and they took them to court. Yalia took them to court and said, why do we have to pay this? I think they've had a similar issue earlier in this year in March, where another company, Teller, also took them to court, asked them to explain, because they were charging those ones 500,000 for owning TVs. So just in case you're wondering, the TV and the radio license bylaw is not licensed to operate a TV station or a radio station. It is licensed to own a TV in your home or your business. So if you're going to put up a TV in your businesses, just like you have everywhere, you're required to pay certain amounts. So under that 2012 Act, there are different categories. There's the category A, which is for big multinationals, headquarters, where, the benchmark for that is 1.5. Then there's the category B for smaller businesses, branch offices, which is where Yalia fell in. And these ones are required to pay 1 million annually. Then there's the one for large businesses, for medium enterprises, for small scale, so 200,000, 100,000, and 50,000. And then for individuals, if you're living in a duplex, you're paying, I think, 20,000. If you're living in a flat, you're paying 10,000. If you're living in a bungalow, 5,000, self-contained 5,000. I mean, I don't know how many, which of us here owns, we have TVs in our home. So I guess we are all owing then.
Honestly, at this point.
I think the court found this particular law laughable, which was why they, formally declared it null and void, because it really doesn't make sense. You charge this person, you are threatening him and saying that I will take him to court because he was not able to pay this 1 million. And I was glad that this person, standing on his full right, allowed it to play out. And as it played out, the judicial system, took its course, and it nullified this law. Like it has actually, and now it has set a precedence that they can't actually do this anymore. And I love that. I love this is kudos to our judicial system, because certain AMAC was basically doing too much. It was doing too much on this case.
So just for context and clarity, right? I think there's a Tax and Levies Act. So
yes.
This applies to the entire country, and these taxes are also done everywhere else in the world. However, it is not, modern, not in this format. However, FCT is unlike the other states. The FCT has an exclusive legislative list, and we know that unlike other states where there are local governments in place and they are allowed to, come up with their own bylaws, the FCT is a little different, because under our constitution, I think section 299 of the Federal Constitution, AMAC is deriving its powers from the FCT Act, not a state government. So the ruling was that AMAC was overreaching because what it is trying to do is to legislate for, having a bylaw that enables it to charge and collect license for TV and radio is already under the National Assembly. National Assembly is acting in the case of Abuja, and these things fall under the National Broadcasting Service, NBC. So they're saying that you're overreaching your powers. Basically, like Barry said, they are doing too much. You know,
Yes.
this is outside of your limits, outside of your scope. But it raises larger issues. It raises even more questions, right? Because with AMAC, people it's one thing or the other. Today it is TV and radio. Tomorrow it is environmental. Next tomorrow it is waste management. Another, like, it's always one thing or the other. There's a lot of tax, and we're happy that we have FIRS rebranded to the NRS. But what do you think? I know there was the new tax reforms that they have done that is looking to harmonize, this multiple taxation system. Let's just have one tax system. Do you think this is the way forward? Is it going to curb things like this?
Honestly, I feel like it will do what it can at this moment, because going back to the AMA case, you see there was a lack of legal basis that led to them even using backdoor. Because you see, had it mean the guy, the owner of the business, did not charge them to court, he decided to give them that money, that's how it will go. And they'll still go and be collecting. Only God knows how many people they've charged this for the same issue. And it's actually insensitive in this economic situation for you to be charging people that huge amount of money. Coming to charge me because I own a TV, it's even ridiculous to the extent of coming to charge illegal. It's unlawful.
And then the number of TVs that you have too.
Honestly, it's so per TV I'll pay 20,000. Then how much did I buy the TV? Yeah, itself. So it's even unlawful for them to be making this kind of, and we need. This is why I said there need to be a proper regulatory body that needs to be overseeing this kind of things. Because you see, had him in the guy did not charge, had him in the guy did not charge them to court, nobody will know about this, and they'll charge you. They'll come and charge me. Only God knows how many people they've charged. This over ₦1 million for 500. That's a lot of money for somebody.
Somebody, and then they will charge you and say this person paid. So why are you not
paying? Because you are doing to open the business for me. So the government needs. There's already laws that are there to protect this whole issue.
Even but the for method you to still of collection too, because they said, you cannot. It's even stated you cannot obstruct them when they come. Don't obstruct them. Not so. It's this kind of laws that allow them to just invade anywhere. Or not just misbehaving.
We've seen them with ones with red jackets, so you always see them fighting with people on the road. Lack of proper orientation. You see them fighting. Okay, pay. If the guy does not want to pay, then there are ways you are going to use and take this action. Not fight. I saw there was a video I saw. Yes, the guy was pulling the driver's steering, and the car was moving. What if at that moment it leads to another thing? Maybe the driver hits 10 people because of chicken change, for God's sake.
That's another question I want to ask, because we know that the people that enforce these things, we have seen the people that enforce these things. We know that some of these people are not educated. Some of them don't even know the law. They don't even know the act. They just tell you, they've been told that when you see somebody that does not have, just ask the person for the, some of them don't even know the papers. They don't even know. They are giving that, use brute force, which is against the law. The law does not empower them to use touts to enforce these collections. But what we see and we know as Nigerians is that the people who are responsible for collection of these payments are touts. There are people that you cannot even reason with. So, for example, now, this law has been, declared null and void. They've struck this out. They said, we can't use this law anymore. Don't use it. In fact, for this case, we are striking it out, but subsequently, don't use this for other people. But, Barry, I don't know. Do you think that, this information will get to the bottom, to those people, to those touts, to those people that are actually out on the field collecting enforcing these laws and collecting these taxes?
I think, that's actually a valid point. They should call these their members, people that are using to enforce this. They're supposed to educate them, enlighten them on what they are doing. Because most of them, basically, like you said, they don't know what they're doing. In essence, they don't really know what they're doing. There needs to be a form of enlightenment, and also enlightenment of the public. Like, who knows how many people they have harassed and collected amounts of money from, which were not lawful. I just read the rulings, the preceding from the ruling, and these were the rulings. AMAC has no power to enact its own radio and licensing regime outside the federal law. 2, the 2012 bylaw is formally declared null and void. The third one was the 1 million demand notice to Yaliam Press, which does not even operate a radio or TV station, is invalid. 4, AMAC is permanently restrained from collecting any fees under the invalidated bylaw. And this is me enlightening the common man. Just in case you did not know, now you know, and now you can stand on your rights. And if they want to push any further, take them to court, and the court will sink it into their ears. That's all I have to
To an
say.
extension, them even attempting to collect this money with their own laws is even a criminal act.
Yeah,
Honestly, I
and
think
this
is a
judgment
criminal
is seen as a victory for businesses.
Yes.
It's a victory for businesses and investors in the FCT. I mean, this was outrageous. How much 1 million can do for you and your business, and you just give it in the form of outrageous tax and baseless tax. I love this outcome.
I mean, it's great. Like for businesses, especially small businesses, this is a great step, because you're looking at a country that we're earning what 77,000 minimum wage, and then you're looking at businesses that are just, we as AMAC should be more interested, because this falls directly within its mandate to empower people, to empower or develop its municipality. And so you see that going, and we understand, because this reeks of a desperate attempt to grow, to get revenue generation. Is a crazy drive for revenue generation that we're seeing all over Nigeria. And in trying to get this revenue, you're bringing up anything to tax people, but then you're taxing people 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, small businesses for this, that. You're taxing, and this is just for TV. There are other things that you're taxing them for. How much does that business make? How does this encourage people to go into business? These are some of the things that kill businesses in Nigeria.
Cripple, yeah.
How does that encourage more people to go into businesses? Because if I'm going into business and I have to pay this, pay that, of course I'm scared. I'm already withdrawing. So rather than this crazy drive for revenue generation, I think AMAC should do more, focus on using the tax, the legitimate tax that you collect, that you're empowered to collect this and give back to these people. If you're going to be disposing waste, dispose waste if it's power, but do something to help these businesses. And I think people will be more willing to comply, seeing that these taxes that they are paying, because that's what taxes are for,
And
that these taxes that they are paying are working for them, they are helping them to grow their businesses. Really.
And just like you said, to add, SMEs, the small businesses are what grows the economy. So if you are already imposing such heavy tax on them, you are chasing them away. I don't think, if we are us that we're trying to build a proper economy, if you are chasing them, this small business, I don't think we're going to go anywhere. So honestly, they need to do better on this.
All right, well, from Abuja, we'll move to Lagos, where fire trapped workers at Afri Land Tower. So notably, Afri Land Tower is where UBA, one of the UBA branches, is housed. And the fire in the inverter room trapped workers, that was at Broad Street. And they were evacuated through windows with ladders, even though there was no death reported, thankfully. But we saw, very near-death experiences. We saw people trying to jump out. We even saw where I think they threw out a couch from the window for, for some of the people to jump on. And I mean, the first thing that came to my mind is this is 2025. There should be an easier way to evacuate people in situations like this. And this went on for a long time. And like so many other issues in Nigeria, we did not see a quick response. You saw the videos. I mean, what did you think? What was your first reaction seeing those videos?
I mean, we're in 2025, like you said. They made that call since 1:38 p.m. And as at night, the fire was still ablaze. From 1 till, let's say, 8 or 7 p.m. in the night, what is really their response time? You made the call. Fire emergency, do they take it as a joke or anything? And then how close are these fire stations located towards areas like this? Shouldn't there be multiple fire stations and quick and ready to respond to these fire emergencies? How many lives have been lost? That building was razed down.
Yeah.
That fire started out in the inverter room, and razed down the entire building. But by the time I saw it at night, it was almost nothing to be left of that building. So what is with Nigerians? What is with Nigerian government entirely? Yesterday, Mohammed was saying what is really working in Nigeria. Even our
Honestly,
fire service isn't working as swift as they ought to. How many lives would have needed to be lost? If not that those people were fast thinking, they were trying to jump out, and if not for community, assuming community wasn't present in trying to help rescue these people, wouldn't they have died? Won't there have been a lot of casualty of lives? And when you sit down and think about it, we realize that this our work ethic in this country is crippling us. It is killing us. It is killing us from the inside out. And then we also realize also that this fire was caused. It was started by the inverter in an inverter room. Although yes, we're trying to move towards sustainable and renewable energy, which I applaud. But it speaks to about the light situation in Lagos. My brother stays in Lagos, my grandma stays basically half of my family stays in Lagos, and I can tell you for free that the light situation in Lagos is really bad. That they rely on inverters and generators, alternate sources of energy for most part of their businesses, which is sad for a country that is claiming to have developed, to have done this, to be at par with certain countries. In 2025, we can't vouch for 24/7 power supply, which has also now led to this fire outbreak. And then we're also talking about what kind of installation process was used, because for that thing to have caught fire, that means there may have been one or two faulty installations somewhere or lack of maintenance. So these are the kind of things that need to be looked into, and people should take responsibility for this. I don't want to see any more of this. I've been hearing that there have been multiple fires like this in Lagos. We don't want to hear any more of this because it's saddening. We don't want to be hearing all this kind of sad news. We want to hear better things coming from Lagos. I mean, this is one of the commercial hubs of Nigeria.
Of the entire West Africa, really.
So we need to do better, honestly.
I mean, I agree with you. There needs to be something, though, like when you talk about the installation process, something could have gone wrong along the way, and whose job is it really to ensure that these things are done properly? We talked about looking at substandard materials. What are the quality of materials that are being used? Whose job it is? The Standard Organization of Nigeria. Are we ensuring that the materials that are used are quality materials? Then you're looking at the building safety codes, really. I know that Governor Sanwo-Olu, recently they talked about it, and there was a review of the building safety code. So they put these things in place following the outbreak of fire in different parts of Lagos. So, but then beyond putting this in place, the legislators moved. They've said, okay, let's have a building safety code. But what about the empowerment? Right? What about the enforcement, rather? Who is enforcing these things? Because when it's not enough to say we're going to have building safety codes. In case of a fire outbreak, the sprinklers go off. When there's a fire outbreak, this is our exit, our emergency exit. This is our safety protocol. This is this is this is that. But then again, when you're constructing, and that's a modern building. When you're constructing these things, who is coming to check to ensure that this building actually meets these standards that have been set? If this is the code, whose job is it? And who is supposed to have been there? Because obviously, nothing was done. If these people could not find a way to escape, that means there was no emergency exit. There were no ladders outside. They were bringing wooden ladders to help them climb down. There's so many things wrong. For a building that looks that new, that is, at that level, it also falls on us as we're also going to go and rent, especially for commercial properties, for our own safety. Because I'm imagining a worker, somebody whose mother, their father would have trained through school, come out, the person is celebrating, my child is working in a bank, only to see your child jumping from a window, and this could have been averted by just adhering to very simple protocols. So this is a call, really. Whoever it is that is supposed to be ensuring these things, let's sit up and let's do our job right. Wherever we're supposed to do things, let's do it. laissez-faire attitude really in Nigeria. And then when you talked about the fire service, I mean, if we had a fire outbreak now, what's the fire service number? What's the hotline?
I don't even know.
Exactly.
Honestly.
We don't know. We know that in a developed country like US, when you have call 911 and you say, I'm being attacked, they redirect you immediately. You know, they patch the call through to the police. If it's a fire outbreak, they know, they patch it immediately, straight up.
I'm pretty sure
But
the
here,
call
we
is not
don't
even
know
free
who
in
to call.
Nigeria.
If you're being robbed like this, do you know who to call?
Honestly.
If there's a fire, do you know who to call? If there's a flood, do you know I would say this. I've had, I think on one occasion, I was it was midnight, close to midnight. I was on the road highway somewhere around area 1, and I saw a body in the middle of the road. I saw it, I saw a body in the middle of the road that day, and my first instinct was to not to stop. It was obviously, as like I said, it was close to midnight. I didn't know, they lay bait too for Nigerians, so I didn't know. But I couldn't just, as a Nigerian, just pass. I decided to call. I called the road safety when answering. I called NEMA, which is an emergency. It's supposed to be an emergency response. The number wasn't connecting. It's not that they weren't answering. Road safety wasn't answering. NEMA wasn't even connected. And that is very terrible for an emergency response. I called the police, I called the first number, I think I called up to 3 numbers before the 4th one finally answered. And then they now took the details. Whether or not they went there, I don't know. But I did my, and someone was telling me, I shouldn't have called the police. Tomorrow night, if there is any investigation, I might be required to come down to the station and come and say what I knew as the last person to have sight. And I didn't. Do you understand? So these are the issues really. But who do we call when there's an emergency, and why don't we have something as essential as fire service 5 meters or 5 minutes away, really, somewhere around the area, different area? Let's have fire service. Let's have these essential services very close. If there's an emergency, we cannot have fire service stuck inside traffic. So I mean, that's
talk about Lagos traffic.
It's crazy. Okay, you see, from my own point, I think my own blame, I would push it towards Lagos state government. You see, the way they tax people in Lagos is crazy. All the tax you are collecting from people, all the billings, but you cannot provide proper fire safety measures. Apart from the federal, you can still provide cars for fire service. You people, I think the way they tax Lagos people, it's insane. And you people need to be accessing this building. This is not a low building. This is a very tall building. If there's a building, okay, before we let you people, okay, you finish building, before we let you people have access to this building.
Not finished, at different stages.
What is the fire measure? Is there a stairs at the back in case there's, because you don't expect, if it's a fire outbreak, you don't expect somebody to start looking for elevator to come down the building. Honestly, they have to, even the main stairs, you might not have access to it. Okay, you have a stairs at the back for emergency purpose. You have a folding ladder for emergency. I saw somebody jumping from the window. That's another risk. That's even enough risk to kill him, because I saw the height of him jumping. He could not stay. I would rather jump from there than stay in the fire. Honestly, Lagos state government needs to do better. They should access these high buildings. Okay, what is your safety measures? Do you have, if you're having a fire outbreak, where is your extinguisher? Is it working? Because some of these things are kept there for years without even, it might have even expired. It might not be functioning. If you press it, it might not be pressing. You people should have regular checkup. Maybe after every 6 months, 1 year, just come to the building randomly. Hello, let's see your fire safety measures, your safety measures for in case of fire
Run
outbreak.
drills too.
Honestly, but you tax people with no valid. Okay, 6 months, 1 year, randomly. You won't tell people who are coming. We're here to check. If you have fire, what are the measures you want to take? Okay, I have a folding ladder from the top building to the last floor, which we can just release for people to use and go down. Okay, we have fire extinguishers, but nothing. And we know how fire used to spread. The problem is, it's not going to burn that whole building alone. It will move. And if you are not careful, it will burn a lot. It will cause a lot of damage. So I think Lagos government needs to do better. They should, if they are going to create this fire, and I'm pretty sure fire service can do that. The fire service can take that job. Okay, time to time they should be going to these offices, these high buildings. Okay, let me see your fire extinguisher. Let me see your ways of of avoiding fire, or what's the ways you are going to take if there's a fire outbreak? Honestly,
Okay, so the
please,
fire
state
service should
government
not
should do
just
better.
react, they should take proactive steps, they should engage with stakeholders, they should come out and meet with people and ensure that, okay, these are the, just educate them, these are the protocols, these are drills, conduct drills, safety drills. So safety should not be an afterthought, it should be done immediately. And then there's a bank there, and you know, it's kind of an oversight because there's a bank there. Let's forget that customers are in there, not just people that work there. People's monies are there in the bank. I don't know whether the monies would have burned. I mean, but you know, that's a whole lot. But they might have fireproof safes anyway. But you know, there are so many other things. Imagine people that keep their documents. They're very important things in the
Honestly,
banks. Anything could have happened, really. So it's also a call for people to get insurance too. Insurance is very necessary. But we expect that, you know, this is a wake-up call. We don't want to see more fire outbreaks before we start doing the right thing, because as we're waiting for the Lagos government, it is not the Lagos government that was inside the fire. It's human beings like you and I, ordinary citizens, that we are inside that fire. So we need to also, on our own, ensure that we have put, if the place you're working does not have, talk to the whoever are managing, the building managers too, and do your own bit to ensure that, because if the fire, you know, at the point that it started, like you said, if there were, you know, fire extinguishers,
it will
it might
not,
have been controlled
before the fire
early on,
service
before
might come.
it's even escalated. So that's another thing. From Lagos, we move to Akwa Ibom State, where two doctors have been declared wanted by the state government. The Commissioner of Health is calling them out. Apparently, the state has trained these two doctors, and these two doctors absconded, and they're calling for their arrest. They're basically saying, come back, will not be held responsible for whatever happens to you. They told them to come and practice, and this is very interesting. I don't know, in a state, they said they are going to notify MDC, and that's the Medical and Dental Council, and foreign board, so that they block them, that they will not be able to work anywhere. I don't know why, but this felt a little to me when I heard the threat from the Commissioner of Health. It felt like the loan apps.
Loan
You know,
app
apps when they are
romance.
calling to threaten people. That's exactly how it came up to me. But you know, they've said this, and there are always two sides to every story. From this side, you know, this is what the government is saying: we've trained you. How can we finish training you and you abscond? And I don't know. I like,
Honestly,
let's look at both sides objectively,
you
right?
know,
Let's look at it from the side of the, I mean, let's first take it from the side of the government, who, you know, in a country where we say we don't have enough medical practitioners, our doctors are leaving, we are understaffed, we need more doctors. Remember, it's also in Akwa Ibom that the pregnant woman, you know, recently passed because of, you know, the theater wasn't. But there are gaps in our healthcare, and for a state that has done what it is supposed to do by bridging that gap and saying, let us train medical doctors that are going to come back to serve us. Is this the right thing to have done for the doctors, you know, to just abandon after they've been trained?
you see, Ajay, if you remember, every day when we're having a conversation, what I always used to tell you is, if there's a problem, let's take a step back and look at the genesis of the problem.
Okay.
I understand from the point of government, it's how it's terrible for me to train you, invest my money in you, and one day you just finally wake up and said, okay, no, you are not doing anymore. I understand the pain of the government, but there's a it's hypocritical there. If you are going to send me to war, IG, let's be honest, then you give me all the weapons I need. Where the healthcare facility of this state, is it well equipped for them to work? You can't just send somebody to war and giving him knife and machete where he's going to gunfire.
Grenade.
How would you expect him to function? He would get frustrated and leave. Because if it's in the same state that a lady died because of what they said, they could not find key, they could not find key to the theater room. Just, is it up to 2 weeks ago? Max, just 2 weeks ago. In the same state. Then let's look at the doctors. That's why I said we have to look at the genesis of the problem. The doctors have been complaining. There's delayed promotion. They don't pay them arrears. They don't even get proper salary, and there's very long time working frame. For somebody that deals with life and death, I think they should be giving him enough break
To rest.
to rest, because what he's doing is a very dangerous thing. So The government coming out to say, to the extent that they want to even arrest them. Now alone, honestly, even Pompeo will not do such. Honestly, the government
Taking
needs
the side
to.
of the government, so to speak, it is an investment. It was an investment into these two doctors' lives. The health commissioner, Commissioner Ekem Emmanuel John, said that the doctors, Dr. Udwa Kabasi Ita, a consultant radiologist, and Dr. Informowong George Bassi, which is a consultant hematologist. These are specialists in their field. They are trained specialists in their field. And the commissioner said that a lot of money has been put into their training. A lot of money has been invested into their training. For them to just up and leave is not acceptable. And unfortunately for them, unfortunately for these two doctors who went to seek greener pastures abroad because of favorable pay and whatnot more, and more secure environments, basically greener pastures, to sum it up. They went abroad to seek greener pastures. And unfortunately for them, it is Akwa Ibom which enforces these bonds. Because the health commissioner made mention of it, that there is this health bonds that they get to sign. Akwa Ibom, Lagos, Benue State, and I think Niger as well. These are the few states that enforce these particular bonds. I would read. Akwa Ibom enforces these bonds to curb brain drain, and medical trainees. What the bond system requires really and does is that the medical trainees who receive specialist training, because they're actually specialists, they see hematologists, they see radiologists and everything. So medical trainees who receive this specialist training, state funded, will serve the public service for a specific period of time after training or risk consequences, including potential blocking of licenses. So under this particular grounds, under the thing that the bond that they have signed, constitutionally, under that bond, based on it's a legal agreement. Based on that bond, he has every right to go after them like this, and he is not wrong for doing it. He said that he is going to revoke their licenses. He has every right to. In Niger State, they said engage medical students still in school with an employment bond, so that their graduation they commit to serving the state civil service. Benue is different. Doctors bond sim. It supports medical students financially and in turn requires them to serve in public hospitals in the state for at least 2 years after graduation. In Kwara State too, sponsor doctors training and must serve for a specific number of years in the health service. In Lagos State also, the bond system is for training staff in health, in servicing and everything. So but people may want to say this is unfair, but you have signed this document. This is a legal agreement. You will not say they did not tell me. You signed it. Read the letter. Yeah, it has been signed. So according to this, I mean, we talk about government officials not following the law, or looking at citizens too also not being responsible and following the agreements they've had with the government. If citizens keep doing this, people who need these loans, people who need these financial aids, would they have access to it because of this level of distrust, because of these bonds being broken? Do you understand this? So I feel citizens, we are every time we keep calling government to be more responsible. We too, as citizens, we should be responsible and know that you are once you sign a legal document, you are accountable to the letter. That's it.
I mean, it's like you said, this is very, very important. These people, there's a level of distrust when we keep doing this, and Nigerians should not enforce this narrative that we cannot be trusted. I mean, every day we are calling the leaders out. The leaders did this, the leaders did this. But are we really different from the leaders if we are going to be doing things like this? And obviously, these people have not looked at the consequences of what they're doing, because if your license is revoked and you're recalled, you're obviously coming back. Well, for wherever that you've gone to for better pastures, you're obviously going to come back, because this is a fraudulent behavior, and it makes it even more difficult for you to go back to this country afterwards. So the commissioner, Emmanuel John, is not even saying, you know, you must come back and work. He's saying you have the option of repaying. It's not slavery. So you have the option of repaying what was invested, and then you're free to go. So like you said, these people have signed these things. They should keep to it. Nigerians should learn to be accountable. They should learn. If you feel like this is not working for you anymore, you hustled money to travel, flight tickets and whatnot. You should also find a way to gather, even if you're paying small, but find a way. Let's keep our integrity. So, I mean, Nnamdi, the blood covenants.
Indeed, the blood covenant.
So people should come back, or you pay, or they will revoke your certificate. And this goes for every other person that is considering this as well. No.
Even with that, I think the state government too should also do well from their own ends to provide well-equipped hospital for these people to come and perform. I understand the pain of the state government, but like Ibom Specialist Hospital, where it has been in bad condition, I think the state government should renovate all these hospitals, provide them with proper equipment. Then I think they are going to come and work. I would blame them.
I agree. This is one way to ensure people stay back, but moving further is not enough to train them. Like we said, they are practicing. Lawyers are practicing. Doctors are practitioners as well. They need their tools to practice. So if you're going to train the doctors, also make the tools and whatever else they're going to need to practice available to them, so that they will stop leaving. All right. So in a good turn of events, Dangote exported his first refined petroleum product to the US, and you know, the first shipment landed at New York. This is very, very interesting. I don't know. I was very happy when I saw this news. I said, finally, we're exporting refined petroleum. We're not exporting crude oil anymore. And this is what we've been praying for. This is what we've been hoping for the longest of time. And to see it is, you know, this is a great thing. For a long time, we've been saying our refineries are not working. The, what they call them? The NNPC, what are people doing with the fund, what's going on with some Melekari being dragged recently because of misappropriation of funds, and not just him. We're tired of seeing this sort of thing. So it's nice that, you know, we're actually exporting refined products. That's brilliant. And I mean, for me, I'm hoping that this opens the door to many more private citizens. It was a good thing that privatization was done. We argue that we should have done this sooner. Yes, it was done sooner, but there were some challenges. And, you know, OBJ said, you know, privatize these refineries, sell them, let private industries, you know, come in and take these things off. And this was done. Late President Yaradua came, reversed it. And, you know, we talked about this thing with continuance in government. So in governance, really. So people need to see the vision and understand, but people are different. He came back, he reversed it. And Dangote was one of the people then that bought it the first time and it was reversed. So, and now, here, when it's, you know, we privatized it again, he bought again. And now we see what is happening, you know. So maybe if late President Yaradua did not reverse it, maybe we would have seen this a long time ago, and maybe so many other things, that chain reaction, the subsidy removal, the devaluation of our naira over this, you know, period, maybe so many other chain effects, the consequences of that reversal will not have come. I don't know. So it's again about foresight, seeing. The way I'm looking at Mo, it looks like he has. Kimi looks like he has a lot to say. He's keeping it. I don't know, but I feel like maybe this should have been done. Let's done sooner. And they said the government are not good businessmen. I don't know why, because these men that are in government run successful businesses. So I don't know why they cannot run. They're very, you know, they run successful private businesses. Why can't they run the economy better as well as they run their own private businesses?
If you ask them, their excuse always is if you are cooking for one person or two, it's different from cooking for 100 people. That's all their excuse every day. But I think it was a good thing that former President Obasanjo said, if you have a spaghetti and you're not willing to cook it and eat, then give somebody that's willing to cook and eat it. You have a refinery, you don't want to make it work, then give somebody that's willing to make it work. And you see, it's a good thing for Dangote, it's a good thing for the nation as a whole, because I'm going to look at it from a point of unemployment. We've been suffering with unemployment in this country, but you see, this refinery is going to, he has employed a lot of people. So that's a good one. And last 2 weeks, we were discussing about shea butter with you, IG, where you were encouraging rather than us going outside. It's a nice thing that we're going to be refining and be exporting end products. So this is a good thing now, rather than us taking our crude oil outside for them to refine it and bring it back. Now it's a good thing that we are refining our own and rather we're exporting the end product. But you know, they said it's a double-edged sword. To look at it from the other side, what about domestic consumption? I hope he's planning to give us enough that is going to reach us before giving it out before taking it to sell. You know, they said you have to eat and belly full before you sell the remaining.
I mean, the
So,
price of
honestly,
petroleum has dropped to 800,
yeah, 800 plus.
recently, and this U.S. exports is particularly symbolic for Nigeria as a whole, because it shows a shift from dependency to self-sufficiency as a nation. We have the Dangote refinery producing about 650,000 barrels per day. And it basically was built to displace the 7 to 10 billion in annual fuel imports. We import about 7 to 10 million for a country that has fuel. We are importing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And it has come to mitigate. So we're talking about local consumption. That is basically what Dangote is in for. He's coming to, although he will make his a businessman,
but he still bridge the gap.
But he is there to bridge that gap. Basically, family first, charity begins at home. So bridging, we are going to, basically what we are saying is that we're looking into less importation of fuel. That's basically what we're saying. We're looking into less importation of fuel and, who knows, further drop in the price of fuel. And then more exports to other countries. First we serve ourselves and then serve the nations. I think it's a laudable feat. It's a step in the right direction. At least we're talking about not getting things right. At least this one has been gotten right.
And then to the addition, you see, I would like Mr. Aliko to look at the environmental cost of this, because we know how it seems that these things are not being taken out through flight. So this oil are being shipped, and hope will not be having spillage, because it's not only oil. We are having agriculture. There are people that fish for a living, so it will not affect. And the environmental cost for the pollution, I hope there's measures he's willing to take for that, and kudos, and a lot of employment. I like that.
I mean, kudos to him. I have a couple of concerns. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I'm hoping that, you know, for monopolization, when he does this raises a certain, you know, it's Aliko Dangote. A lot of people are afraid of monopolization, and I don't know. I hope that more people, more businesses, more private investors are also going to get in on this. Even though we're not advocating for an over-dependence, over-reliance on crude oil, we're trying to diversify. But let's have more private investors get in. Let's have a Dangote. Let's have another, you know, let's have more people getting in. Yes.
Yes. You can have a Dangote and still have
Chief KB. Chief KB oils.
Yes.
Well, let's have, you know, lots of people. Let there be competition. I think ultimately competition is good for the consumers, is good for the businesses as well. And then as we are going to be, like you said, it's profit first. He's a businessman, and he's going to make as much profit as he can, obviously, or hopefully we're going to see him rise higher on the Forbes list before the end of the year or next year.
The fuel price should drop as
he's rising, right? Well, I'm hoping that in doing all of these, that we have oil reserves. You know, we know that in US and, you know, Russia other countries where they've sourced oil, that these people have an oil reserve.
Up to 60
So
years.
let's have an oil reserve, because it will be very, very bad that we export all of our oil, we refine and we export and we keep exporting because Nigeria has a tendency to do things without thinking of the long-term impact. That we do all of this and get to a point where
We haven't saved
we
for the
don't
rainy
we don't
day.
have any reserve. If anything goes wrong, we don't have oil to run on. We are barely affording fuel in a country where we produce crude oil. So you can imagine what will happen if there was no crude oil. You can imagine how the price of fuel is going to skyrocket, or petroleum. And then if it skyrockets, you can imagine how the level of inflation that is going to hit the country. So in as much as this is good, it's a booming. It's like we're reinventing, it's not rocket science, but we're reinventing, what exactly we already knew since. But let's have oil reserves. Let's plan for the rainy day. Our grandparents, great-grandparents had this oil. We came and we met it. Let our grandchildren, the people
Come
that
and
are
meet
coming
it.
after us, also come and meet this same oil. Let us not deplete everything and export to countries who have their own reserves as well. And then, this is great because our foreign reserves will also increase. It's going to go up. So hopefully this is a really great thing for the naira, and naira is going to go up. So kudos to him.
And just like you said, IG, honestly, there should be a proper competition, because one man cannot be defining the price of oil, of fuel, because that's market dominance. And please, he should consider domestic.
The other ones
He
too
should-
should also try
yeah,
investing. Sure, he's one
yeah,
that invested. The
but
thing that my
honestly,
mind
it's
put for this
discouraging. It's discouraging with
check
what he
it
saw.
now.
We
It's
saw
very, very capital intensive. He
we
spends
saw,
a lot.
money.
thank you, and we saw the problem. He said he has been battling with cabals, so you see it's another push for
Yeah.
people to come and invest. Everybody, the federal government needs to look at this thing.
Make
These
it
people,
easier for people to do businesses in Nigeria.
honestly, if these people have intention, the government, the price of fuel was very high, so people want to invest so that they can the hands will be multiple and the price will reduce. But the cabals are not aligning it. They don't want the country to prosper. So the federal government, please, if it's for you to beg the cabals, beg, but I beg us first, the common man first, honestly.
We are common people, but what we deserve for I become one person.
Honestly.
But our first should be our own. Anyways, we're looking at Rema, not a common man at all. Rema, Rema is facing a lot of backlash over his recent encounter or clash with a young lady, Amaka Obasi, who is an interior designer that he had given a contract, and it was all going well until he had her arrested, and then obviously the public cried out, and there was a lot of backlash. It said celebrities are using their influence again they are oppressing the poor. So everybody was out, let the poor breathe. They were shouting. There was a lot of noise up and down. But what is the story really? He said she was paid 286 million for a project where she had quoted 386 million, and the remaining balance of 100 was supposed to be given to her. No, he paid 287 out of 386. So there was a balance of 99, and he was ready to pay. I think they've done 2 projects in the past, and he was ready to pay the balance. And then he comes and he says that the things that she claimed to have done, he wasn't seeing any of them. That the chair that she told him was already delivered, it wasn't there. So where are the chairs? Where is this? What am I paying for really? And one thing led to another, and she's in police. She was allegedly arrested, even though the ASP Minor has come out and said, okay, this is what happened though. She said they had a dispute, this, and this person, they said they were advised independently to come and look at the state of the work, what is remaining, value it, know who is owing who, basically counterbalance, or complete the work and get paid. And that's where they were at. But they said the young lady, Amaka Obasi, refused. She wasn't cooperating, and that's how it degenerated to the arrest. But her sister is countering what the ASP has said and said, this is not true, this is false. That you people did not do anything of the sort. In fact, that they seized her sister's phone, told her sister to turn off the phone so that Rema would think that she had spent the night in the police station. So it's at this point is I say versus you say. But one thing that I found interesting, she said they paid 1 million bill, a 1.1 million naira bill, even though from the receipts, she shared receipts. The receipt she said was from a private account. They paid to a private account. I don't know if we are paying bill now to private accounts. I don't know. Or maybe it's giveaway that she was doing 1.1 million. If you're paying bill of 1.1 million to the Nigerian police, it should be stated there. And a lot of people argued and asked why, if this was a civil case, why is the police involved? Why are they now loan recovery? Are they loan recovery? Why are they trying to wade in? They said they are not recovering anything. This is, it's not necessarily a civil matter. That it's because the lady was not responding. That's why they stepped in.
I mean,
It's a whole lot of drama.
song paid you heavily for several works. I mean, she did his studio, she did his, and then you are coming out and saying that he's refusing to pay you. If he's refusing to pay you, he has basis. And I really fight against artisans and artists basically who do not take their work seriously, who deliver less than they ought to. I do not want to use the particular word that is in my mind. But it's fraudulent in nature. It's fraudulent in nature, and I hate it that when it comes to celebrities, we try to play the victim card, because they will say it is abuse of power, abuse of influence. Really, they will say it's abuse of influence. But if I tell you, if we had an agreement, you deliver this, me, it really doesn't work. That is why certain people will not want to work with the likes of you. They'll be skeptic in working with your likes, and you have blocked business for certain. That is why you see that certain people like working with foreign brands, because there's a level of professionalism. What you see is what you get. You said you want this, you get this. We see issues of overquoting. We see the issue of under delivering. And then, do you understand? I really, for me really, there's no smoke without fire. Obasi, if you have truly done everything that you said you were going to do, bring out your receipts. I mean, you still have the receipts. You paid for this, you paid for that. Show him the receipt of everything that you have done, and everything will be easily cleared out. There's no need for hide and seek in this matter. I mean, yeah,
You see,
that's it.
from my own ends, I think the police, this shouldn't have even escalated since they've worked together before. I feel like this is something they should just come together. Okay, this is what I did and you did not deliver. Where is the problem? If he feels like, okay, the problem is enough reason for him, fine. If he feels like, okay, it's not, I want refund or something. But for it to escalate to security operatives to the extent that as I read, both of them are not even giving statements. Everybody is not talking. The Rema is not speaking, and the lady self is not. But I urge the security body to actually be very transparent. There should be no favoritism. Okay, he's a superstar. No, don't favor him. No, don't favor her. Be honest with your investigation, and he who is wrong should take the blame. Honestly,
I think they might need to dial back a little, really, if you ask me. They should go to court. They should settle it. Since it cannot be settled out of court, they should settle it. But then, like Barry said, this is what ethics. I've seen business people that are very shabby in the way they're dealing. I've also met really great business people that have very impressive work ethics. And that's when you find out that Nigerians can be very lousy. If you say you're going to do this, please do it. And then it goes for businesses, for people also, not just businesses, for you that wants to use artisans or use anybody work. You should have clear deliverables stated. This is your deliverable. If you meet this clearly stated, whether they're your friends, they're your friends' friends, your sister's uncle, shall have clear stated deliverables. I am paying this so amount to deliver so, and you're going to get so upfront. After, when these deliverables have been completed, you get this. Because now the lines are blurred. We don't know, who is to state that she didn't do what, because they're saying she said she's importing foreign, she brought local. But so we need to actually stake these things, and it's business. Business is business, irrespective of how many times that you've worked with the person. Let everybody treat their business as a business, because now, regardless of who is right or wrong, that's her brand it's flawed now, because there's so many people that will not work with her. Okay, so we move on to a better story. Still another artist in the limelight, Fola, debuting at number 14 on the Billboard chart. I mean, this is impressive. Fola is relatively new. I won't say he's new, but he's relatively new on the scene. And, just debuted at number 14 on, the US Billboard is really big. And yeah, it's in the music industry. And seeing our very own artist, Afrobeat, having its own genre, it's like we're now mainstream. This is a global genre at this point. We have a global audience. People want to listen to Afrobeat, and it just shows how far that we've come from the days of Mohit, P Square, Two Face, Sadia Adu, to Nigerians performing on world stages, platforms around the world. It's an amazing thing. I don't know. Like, look at where we're coming from as a country musically, and look at where we are now. It's like, look at me now. Look at where we are now.
Journey, very, very progressive journey. Because you can see how before we used to see the likes of Fela performing outside, but now we're seeing the people, that time we were young, we were just small, or we were growing up. Sometimes we've not even seen it. We just grow up and see Fela, we'll be like, but now all of a sudden we're seeing people like artists, all these days artists doing the same, reaching this caliber within a short period of time. For a person like Fola that came into the industry not more than even 3-4 years ago, it's not up to 4 years ago, but him achieving this thing that we've seen others trying to achieve for long, even though we've seen artists like Borno, Davido, Wizkid, Olamide performing in global stages, but we can see somebody like Fola within these shots. We've seen, that's why I said our entertainment industry is actually doing well. We've seen just few days ago, we saw Pella getting a deal with Cake to the extent of him getting with Steak. And now we've seen Fola almost very close to topping the Billboard, which we hope to see him being number 1 on the Billboard. It's Fola, please, that your album, I need to listen again. I've listened to it, but I need to listen again.
Listen well with your spiritual ears.
Anytime I hear Nigerians achieving a very good thing, it gives me goosebumps. It makes me feel like they are my own. Proud, They are my own. Fola are my own personally, because I like this achievement. This is personal to me, honestly, and I hope to see you. It's personal.
I think that's Tiwa.
No, you people. Okay, Tiwa. I borrow me your, before you sue me, I'm borrowing your your name, your album name. So honestly, this is personal to me, and I'm happy. And Fola, this should not be a limitation for you. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to see you at the top, number 1 globally, because he's very talented, very chill. He's not loud. He sings very chill.
I don't know who you're sounding. No.
Don't point. Don't put finger in my mouth, please. Don't release the lion.
Police will put you both for your pocket.
Help me, help me. Let mama not beat me.
So Fola, thank you for that. You can do better. I love that. Congrats.
Basically for me, I feel his album being number 14 on the Billboard chart is part of a larger wave. Just like you said, it's part of a larger wave. Nigerian music is recognized globally. And I think it's a big feat. And I think it's something that it is something that our government, I keep saying, our government needs to invest more into the entertainment sector. It is impeded. It is a cash. If they want to cash out really on invest in our entertainment sector. We're talking about Nollywood. We're talking about our music industry. You're talking about sports. Invest there, and you would see the dividends. You will reap the dividends. If Nigeria's standard is top notch, like worldwide. We're talking about artists putting Nigeria on the map, on the global map. It's impressive. You see Burna Boy performing at Grammys. You see Thames. You see Davido at O2 Arena. You know them topping shows left, right, center, and it is crazy. You see all of that, and then you are proud to be Nigerian again, despite what is happening in the country. By the way.
At least
But
we
you
still
are
find a way to
proud.
entertain ourselves.
Yes, we are proud. You see our younglings. He's a very, very young artist.
Yeah.
And then he's doing so much. So it's even inspiring for the young ones that you can make it even as whatever it is that is your field, you can actually make it as a Nigerian, as a talented Nigerian, whatever it is that you do. And he has his own genre of music. So you don't need to sing like Thames, you don't need to sing like Tiwa, you don't need to sing like Davido. But you sing your own kind of music, and then other people get to relate with it and then recognize you for it. That's an achievement.
I mean, kudos to him. This is great. We're hoping to see many more artists following his light. Unfortunately, we have a sad story following this. Empty ShopRite shelves sparking conversations around Nigeria.
No, allow us to talk first.
Ah, very, very sad. And this is honestly, when I saw it, I was like, this is actually a visual representation of, you know, the business environment, the economic environment in Nigeria that has forced many multinationals out of the country, out of the country. We know that it is difficult, especially with the fluctuation of the naira dollar, that it's more difficult for these people to import. And then when you import, finally, people are grappling with inflation. People are grappling with very hard times in the country. 77,000 naira minimum wage. A lot of people can afford to go to ShopRite. As even when we came out to ShopRite initially, it was booming. There used to be a queue to buy things. If you finish picking, there's a queue to just pay for the things that you bought. And Nigerians were so excited. And that's the ShopRite that we're seeing today, crumbling into what it is now. Zero queue, zero empty shelves, really. I know that and this is not even just in one place. It happened in Akure. We've seen it in Ilorin, in Abuja, in Enugu. Empty ShopRite shelves. It's like an end of an era.
And epidemic, really.
It's a ShopRite epidemic, and it's really sad. So I know when they pulled, I think that was last year that they pulled out of the mall at Wuse and said, they're not going to be doing business anymore. I felt sad because that was one. I had some specific memories from that place, but it's saddening to see that this is what's going on. That people cannot afford to purchase anymore, and these people cannot even afford to restock anymore. So there are a lot of issues, a lot of challenges. I don't know what and there's so many stores that we don't even see a lot of, even game. I don't see a lot of game stores anymore. I mean, what does this mean for us as a country if we're having our multinationals living? But more than that, what does this mean really?
I'm talking about. You're talking about the ease of doing business in Nigeria. Is it really easy to do business in Nigeria? Talking about inflation. You're talking about taxation. You're talking about the flippant currency that is going like this. And then it's really sickening because at the end of the day, where is the profit? We're talking about unstable power supply. I forgot. Unstable power supply. They'll bring chicken, and they won't be able to last. If they are going to last on PHCN generated or NEPA lights, that's frozen stuff is gone. So now they are relying on diesel. I just talked about it recently. They're relying on diesel or inverter, alternative energy, and it's costly. It's not cheap to purchase or to come by. It's very, very costly. So we're talking about all this wrapped and engulfed into one. And you ask, is it even, is the risk worth it at the end of the day? Is it worth it? They asked themselves, right? They did the cost benefit analysis, and they realized that, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. And as sad as this might be for them, this might actually be room for more locals to bridge in that gap. So now they can be promoting more Nigerian-made things. We know ShopRite. It's an international it's an international company and basically store, and most of their goods are being shipped in from abroad. So local stores bridging that gap would ensure that Nigerians sell made in Nigeria. I mean, as far as chicken self, and eggs shipped in from abroad. So while that is sad and all, locals can step in, and we see local marks like Booker Mart, Just Right superstores, stepping and selling made in Nigeria to Nigerians. I mean, we are staying in Nigeria, we are wearing made in China, made in other countries. How about Nigeria made goods? So I think that's opportunity. If you are out there selling tomatoes, selling this is your time to shine. Really.
Brand your tomatoes.
Brand it, you see?
Yeah, and package them well, really, and see if you will not sell.
In addition to what Barry said, I would like to look at it from the economic perspective of this. You see, I once had a conversation with a foreign store owner where he complained. He said he's leaving the country, he's closing his business. I asked him why. He said, you see, the problem is the inflation is shaky, whereby today you buy this thing will come for him at this price, and for him to sell at this price is almost impossible because he keeps operating on loss. That's why he could not do it. Then I asked him, but is that only your problem? He now highlighted, he said there's a supply chain problem. He said, you see, you people fuel prices too. You see, we used to buy something at this price. Now and if you bring it, there's tax at the what's it called? At the borders, there's tax. If you come in, you'd have to pay off these people, police, small. He said, at the end of the day, you see, all the profits has gone. There's no profits there. And he said, for it to even come, he said there's even restrictions on imports to even bring
sometimes you already have things ordered and
to bring the goods inside. There's high logistics. He said now for him to bring these goods from Lagos to Abuja, you see how expensive it is. And when you come and he said not everybody can afford it. So at the very end, his business is crashing. That's why he felt like he can't. But just like Barry said, this is an opportunity for local goods to thrive. This is an opportunity for us to shift to local goods. Since majority, we've seen how most of our people go to Dubai to buy beds, chairs. Well, we still see how our furniture people are doing well. Because there was a day I saw one furniture. I asked the guy, is this from Turkey? He said no, he made it, because I was very surprised. He did it very well. So this is an opportunity for us to try out our local products to see what they can deliver. And I think it's going to even
export
at some end it's even going to give us an economic boost, since to some extent, rather than us always going to import, we can even try to export, just like what Mr. Dangote did. Not only fuel, we can export other things too. Since I see we opened the shea butter refining so I think this is a good thing, rather. But it's sad to see how. And this is going to the last part that it's going to affect our foreign investors, because anybody now is going to see, if I come and see ShopRite now, they didn't prosper, they ran away. Everybody will have that fear of coming to invest. So it's going to have an issue it's going to have a gap between us and foreign investors, because every foreign investor now will be thinking, every business that comes, they complain about tax, economy, their high cost of logistics. So foreign businesses are running away. So I think the government in that aspect, the government needs to try and bridge, because we need foreign investors, because we cannot make it happen. So you need to bridge this gap, so you'll not be chasing our foreign, because I don't know, maybe it's a foreign investor that's going to come and invest in my refinery. I want to compete with Aliko Dangote. So please, federal government, don't chase our investors.
I think this is really, because when we say we want the locals to start producing, we also know that these locals are still going to face the same issues that the multinationals are facing. They're going to still face these power issues. So we fix our power, we fix our security. Let's start from there. Because if you're running diesel, we saw how the national grid shut down. So imagine businesses that depend or thrive, or that need lights to survive. How are they going to cope? I think I was in a facility, it's a biotech facility. I was there at some point, and they were talking about research that they'd been doing for a number of years, and how they can't even, the lights can't go off. You know, if the light goes off, 6 years, 7 years research down the line. So they need 24/7 power. And obviously these people had backup because they could not rely on, generated power. So these are the issues that these people face, that the multinationals are facing, and they're living. And if we live, if apart from the imports, right? When we still come down to Nigerians and the locals, they're still going to face their fair share of this struggle. So it really falls on the government to help create enabling environment for businesses to thrive. We need to create, and no, in as much as we want our people to start growing their own businesses and doing more, we also need, like you said, we need the foreign investment.
Investors.
In US, for example, Trump is garnering for them, stop importing, come and assemble your cars, build your cars here, open, give our people jobs. Because when these foreign nationals, there's some things that we can't make, maybe because of our climate. There's some things that, it's fine if you people come here, set up your businesses here. I mean, we're already importing, but we don't want to import the products.
There will be a room for job creation.
There's a room for job creation. So rather than, importing these things, bring the company, come and produce it here. Use our labor, use our people. Of course, we don't pay our people cheap, but come here, pay our people. I know that there are so many Chinese factories in Nigeria producing glassware, plastics, different things. So let's have more people come here, give us jobs, because we're looking at it, these big multinationals are leaving, but how many of us have walked into ShopRite and seen somebody that we knew you from, maybe from a street or from school or from somewhere, and the person is there as a manager, as a cashier, as something really? So you think about all these people. There are a lot of staff at ShopRite that have families to feed, people that depend on them, out of business because our government could not. First of all, we failed them because some of these people went to school, could not get jobs. The multinational has come, has given them jobs, and that multinational is still not able to sustain its businesses. And so again, these people are out of jobs yet again. So our government really has to do something about this and create environment that makes it easy for people to do business. Let the ease of doing business, let it be easy. Let it really be easy to do business in Nigeria.
Don't chase my foreign investor. Please. My refinery is coming very soon.
Very soon. I mean, we are rooting for you. Whatever you decide to refine, we're rooting for
it's
you.
Crude oil.
Whether so while we're talking about refining crude oil, some people are refining Ghana must go bags. Louis Vuitton, the luxury brand, unveiled its heritage luxurious, very luxury or nothing. It's a heritage edition bag, and some people have, compared the luxury bag to our Ghana must goes, and this bag it costs as much as 4.5 million naira. That's $3,000. So 4.5 million naira for one, and people said 4.5 million for Ghana must go. Are we serious? Are we being serious?
Luxurious Ghana must.
Luxurious Ghana must.
Please add that luxury. Add that luxury.
So luxury or nothing.
When nothing do Ghana must go in price in the market.
Honestly.
I don't like this.
It's like after I'll even go before I branch home, I'll go and buy like 5 before I'll hear story that touches their heart.
Do you understand?
3,000. Even though we've seen some Nigerians have complained that $3,000 for Ghana must go. Some said, it's too much. Some said, for Ghana must go, we're going to Alaba, 500 for Mama in Kitty shop, go carry. Now it's $3,000. While others are still complaining that, okay, these people are out of ideas. And some are complaining, okay, you come and steal our ideas, then why not give us credit for it?
Why? I mean, some people, and this is it's a very valid argument. It's not about, don't steal my idea and give me credit. How about don't steal it at all?
Honestly,
because
so
we've argued about so many things, about coming to steal who we are. One day you steal our identity as well. Honestly. Because you're taking things that are ours. They're telling our stories. You come and tell us our stories.
Because now in the next 20 years, the story that here is, okay, Louis Vuitton invented
this
This bag,
materials.
20
No,
years
I'm not,
ago.
honestly not even just talking about, I'm talking about generally. They take our stories and they tell them, you take our art, you've taken down to, don't say you don't have shame. You have taken our art, you have taken this, you have taken our people. Then you have come to take even Ghana must go. Ghana must go, you not live for us.
So,
But
And
then it's the
then,
fact
yeah.
that you're taking all these things and then you're taking who we are, and it also falls on us that if you don't do it, somebody will. Because this is
Honestly,
Ghana must go that we've been looking down on, we've been
since we
sleeping
were,
on.
it's for a very
We did
long
not,
time.
Mayatafo, did not brand it.
There's no house. I don't think there's a house now you enter that you don't find Ghana must go.
I mean, all our designers, people did not brand Ghana must go. People were
What
making
made the price
clothes,
go up?
making clothes for what's her name?
Comrade, off your mic.
For Miss Michelle Obama. You did not brand it. Louis Vuitton has carried the bag now and branded it, and then they're selling 4.5 million naira. But then this is a wake-up call for us. And it's also a call for us to tell our own stories, be our own authentic self. Very soon now, Ankara, they might start selling Ankara.
But
No, they already
But-
do, and then
but-
they would call it something else.
They call it African print.
Like,
And they sell it exorbitantly.
but
even down to our leather, even Winston leather had to come out and clear this. Even down to our they were calling it
Authentic.
Italian leather.
Italian leather, yeah.
And then when we challenged it, rather than call it Nigerian leather,
They
they
said
started calling it
authentic leather.
authentic or genuine leather. And it is really sad because rather than give us our credits, rather than give us our flowers, they would rather not even allow us to be in the
make
spotlight
everybody
at all.
lose. Make
No,
everybody
but
It's
lose.
let-
really sad. I
let-
really want them to stop it. And then this Ghana Must Go has history. It has a story behind it. Do they know the story? They call it heritage bag, but do they really know the story behind these bags that they are putting out and branding as their name? They just slam their
Stamp.
stamp on it. They just
Stamp.
slam their stamp on it and then just say and then call 3,000 naira from their mouth.
But Barry,
Come out, say, "Don't
It's
about
very,
it."
very
but
interesting that she
honestly,
said.
from the comments, do you think they are actually out of ideas?
No, I don't think they are.
They're
Well,
not out. It's more
Because
of
this is
stealing
not- this
African
is not a
heritage. I mean, you
creative
go
idea,
to
you
their
stole it.
museums, and that is where our stolen artifacts are. You in their
Okay,
museum.
stealing is
Basically,
not a
it's
new
part
thing.
of it. It's not a new
It's
thing to
not
them.
a
This is
new
about
thing.
the
It's
stealing of
the-
African heritage.
I mean, like you said, it's the fact that they don't know the heritage. It's very ironic that you call this heritage. For us, Ghana Must Go symbolizes different things. It symbolizes when corrupt politicians used it to carry money. So when she said Ghana Must Go, then we're thinking politicians, we're thinking money. We're also thinking about how we, as Nigerians, forced our brothers, we forced our brothers
brothers.
out of the country. And so these are very symbolic things that these people don't even understand. And then you take that back that has a significant meaning to us, and you rebrand it and you sell it back to me to carry as a fashion. We don't carry Ghana Must Go for fashion. We carry there's a
When you have
function.
heavy load
It's
to
not
travel,
a
when
fashion
you are going,
statement. If we are going to carry it as a fashion statement, I think it would be insulting
quite
because of the history and the symbolism behind it. And I don't think they understand it. And they do this so many times when they want to tell maybe African stories in movies. You bring somebody who doesn't
not a
understand to come and learn the accent and play. Why not take?
My name is John. Right? It's so outrageous. The
Why not
accents
take
are so
somebody from
exaggerated.
here
Why not get a
Why not
Nigerian to play a Nigerian?
Nollywood is one of the top 3 industries in the world, movie industries in the world. Why? What happened to our actors? What happened to
Honestly.
Genevieve? What happened to Omotola? What happened to all of them? Why can't you feature them in your movies? Really?
But then you bring somebody and force them to learn Nigerian accents
Accents,
it
and they
looks
do
very
a poor
forced.
job of it. And will
But
get
let
us
us,
pissed.
and don't tell our stories for us. You don't see us going to go and tell the story of Abraham Lincoln.
Nah.
We don't do that. Let Nigerians tell their barrier story. Let us tell of Funmilayo and some Kuti. Don't tell our stories for us. Leave our heritage for us. Let's respect everybody's culture. I think that's it, really.
It's $3,000.
that's
IG, are you planning?
I
on
have
buying?
original one, just in case anybody is looking for the bag. I have very original at discount. It's
Me
just
now,
2
me
million.
say nothing, may nothing do back home. I mean, Ghana must
Honestly,
go
to
back.
$3,000
Let it not be
is
expensive
it's quite
again.
crazy.
And our final story for today, the highest YouTuber for 2025, highest Nigerian YouTuber is Pastor Jerry Eze of Streams of Joy, grossing in 10.1 billion, and that's not even annually because it is in 2025 alone he has grossed in 10.1 billion, and we know we still have 3 months to go. Like Aswaju will say, We met our targets before 3 months. So, this is very, very impressive. 10.1 billion, highest streamed YouTuber in the
10.6.
entire country.
It's very, 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 very beautiful. And the funny thing is, this is not his first time. It's like second year in a row.
Second year in a row.
Before you people shout, he's lucky. He said, I can do it again. So he has proved the haters wrong. But this is one of the things I want to say is, you see, Chef Chioma, Chef Nkechi, whoever you are, as long as they are creating content, learn to monetize. Honestly, you should learn to monetize, not just come and put it for us on WhatsApp or even Facebook. You have to monetize before you get paid. X, you have to monetize before you get paid. So this is a wake-up call for every content creator. Either you are a chef, you are a babalawo chef, monetize. Even if you are a babalawo, monetize.
There's a native doctor on TikTok.
Honestly, you should monetize so you get the best. So you get the best of this. Not that you just come and make people laugh or entertain people. You also have to make money from it. So you push these things to other. And you see, one of the things I like with Pastor is this. He has shown us how he content diversification. Not only you have to be a skit maker for you to make money. No, he's a pastor. But at least you see he's pushing his own content. So you don't necessarily have to be a skit maker. You can do other things. You might be a tech bro that is creating websites or something.
Style.
You can then you can monetize, you can show people, you can use it to monetize while you get viewers. So Pastor, it's like myself. I would come to your church on Sunday. I'll come to your church on Sunday.
I mean, there's this narrative of pastors being Nigerian pastors generally being the richest in Africa. I mean, in the world, not just Africa. And certain people have had very, very divergent points of view. But looking at them, looking into their lives, you find out that it's your tithe and offering has nothing to do with it. You talk about they are owning private jets and everything. You are sleeping on this business. He's making 10.6 billion. He has made 10.6. And then I heard on an average Sunday, he makes 21 million naira. So you are talking about someone who is industrious, who has perfected his art. And because he's not just putting out just services, the craftsmanship that he pays this, pays that, everybody, even down to the coverage. You see the amount of work that is put into this. Perfection, excellence that is put into this, and then pushing it out there. It's speaking to you. Don't sit down in your chair and typing what you don't know. How about, like he said, invest in yourself, perfect your craft. There's a lot of information inside of you that someone out there is waiting for. Create a content about it, monetize it. Order tata food that you are doing with your sister. Turn it into content.
Please,
and see if you will not blow. Do you understand? Monetize it. All this one you're always doing, backbiting people since from your small phone on your bed, and you're busy backbiting people who are making millions and billions.
Just commenting.
Honestly,
he blew by just commenting on people's posts, unsolicited.
You see,
unsolicited comments. So if you are going to be a troll, at least let it be favoring you. Let be cashing out from it. Don't be a nuisance to yourself and nuisance to community as well.
You see,
I really love this for him. I love that Nigerians are doing so well for themselves and entrepreneuring and just
emphasis on that content diversification. You see, now I want to learn how to make egusi, and the best way for me to go and learn is on YouTube. So please, chefs, learn how to use YouTube. Teach us how to cook. I want to learn egusi. I want to learn draw soup. I want to learn ofe sala. I beg, Chef Chioma, ofe sala.
This one that he has been talking about food. Is there something that we don't know?
You people
should on chef. What's going on?
Monetize.
He likes food.
So he's been saying chef. Is it a particular chef?
No. Don't before they come and say they will not teach you. So, but honestly, you see them now. There are people that create. You can just do it for fun. And you can still make money out of it. In your house, maybe you just want to cook. There are people that cannot even make basic noodles. So please, you people should be pushing out content.
You cannot boil water, it will burn.
So at least we can be able to entertain ourselves. If we are bored, we enter YouTube and watch chef cooking pounded yam and...
It's still chef again.
I mean, for me, really, it's kind of also shows how big of a deal religion is in this part of the world. Religion is a big deal. I follow the services sometimes, most times actually, and you come in, you see at one point you're seeing 2 million people online, and that's just one platform because this is just YouTube, and you're seeing similar numbers across Instagram, Facebook, X. It's it's crazy when you aggregate all of this. You can, and this is, imagine making 10.6 billion naira from just
YouTube
YouTube. Talk
alone.
about multiple streams of income. So this is great. And then when we talk about it, we feel like, oh, it's so easy. It's not easy. It's consistency. Here's a man who wakes up every morning, every weekday, every other day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday. Like, this person is online almost every day, consistently. It takes a lot of discipline to make money. It takes a lot of discipline to succeed at just about anything. And he has proved that even with being a pastor, you still need that discipline. Some people will say, I'm not going to do, the Holy Spirit will help me, they will guide me, they will do this, they will carry me on eagle's wings. There's nothing I don't hear. But as they are carrying you on eagle's wings, learn that there are these certain things you have to be disciplined and you have to put in the work. It's not easy. I don't assume it's going to be easy for him or anybody else, but it's a lot of work from the entire team. And kudos to them. It's no small feat. Hopefully, if we start now,
Avec chef.
investor vibes.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you should start now. Start watching us right now, and then maybe in a couple of years, you get to say, "Oh, I knew them when they were." All right. So we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining us, Barry, KB. Thank you so much for your amazing analysis, Chief. My bad. Thank you, Chief, for your amazing analysis today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Right.